Hello everybody. Sergeant Right here. And this morning, today we're going to be reacting to WW1 Oversimplified Part 2, as you can see down here. First of all, quick note. I've been trying to upload almost every day, because of the quarantine and everything. It's easy to upload on a consistent basis. Because, I took kind of a long break at one point, so I apologize for that. But, I've been trying to get on a consistent schedule. But sometimes it's kind of difficult because the Wi-Fi continues to disconnect. And I remember yesterday I tried to record 5 different times, and I never made it past 3 minutes of this because the Wi-Fi kept disconnecting over and over again. So, we'll see if this works this time.
With both sides stuck in a hard stalemate, they knew this war wasn't going to be about taking territory, but about simply wearing each other down.
Yeah.
The Allies had plenty of men to expend from its overseas dominions, and the British...
Wait a minute.
The Allies had plenty of men to expend from its...
This map is not correct. The Allies, they had control over the Solomon Islands right there, where my mouse is. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Libya. Let's talk about the area around Libya. Okay. England, I forgot its name for a second, had that much territory, like the area I'm circling from my mouse, not that little corner. In France, they had like a little triangle of land right there. Okay, let's continue.
Its overseas dominion, and the British also started a naval blockade, so
Oh,
Germany couldn't import stuff.
Yeah, the naval blockade is probably why Germany lost. Like, that's probably the biggest reason.
Neither side really wanted a long, grueling war, though, so they both thought of ways to break the deadlock on the Western Front by key number 1, a new frontier. When the war first broke out, Australia was quick to take German New Guinea. The Allies also quickly jumped on Germany's colonies in Africa, and particularly in German East Africa, locals were enlisted as soldiers and carriers by both sides, leading to a tragic loss of life for the native Africans.
Okay, first of all, it's very sad. And second of all, I hope they talk about, like, the guerrilla warfare that happened. And I think it was either Namibia or East Africa. I don't remember which one, but there was this amazing guerrilla warfare campaign that Germany did in one of those colonies. They did absolutely fantastic.
Some new combatants entered the war as well. The Allies' new friends were Italy and Japan. Japan was busy building...
Well, yeah, Italy's kind of strange, because, they're part of the Triple Alliance, but it was a defensive pact. So, Italy wasn't, legally obliged to help out Germany and Austria, because Germany declared war on France. France didn't declare war on Germany, and Austria technically started everything because they declared war on Serbia. And also, it was just because of convenience. It was way more convenient for Italy to help out, the Entente than the Central Powers. Also, this map is wrong. Cow something. Dang it! Oh my gosh! I forgot what it's called. It's like Tao Dong or something. I don't remember. It's actually over here, where my mouse is, not all the way over there.
Building itself an empire, so it was more than happy to take away German islands and colonies in East Asia. Italy actually had an alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary before the war.
Defensive pact, to be more precise, actually.
But after some tense relations...
Well, I guess technically it's an alliance. Excuse me for that.
And then the Allies promising to give them some of Austria-Hungary's stuff.
Yeah, those parts, they had, or at least some of Tyrol. By the way, the thing is showing on the map is South Tyrol. Actual Tyrol is this whole big area. Anyway, South Tyrol, about half of it is Italian, the bottom half. So that's why Italy wanted it. And Istria, they had a good amount of Italians on the coastline. Um, but yeah, they didn't. Okay, the Entente also promised part of the coastline, and they also promised the entire Istrian peninsula, not just that little place. That's the amount of land they have now, so it doesn't make any sense.
They switched sides. Italy opened up a front in the mountains here, but like everyone
Yeah, but just like in World War II, they were incompetent.
else, they were stuck in stalemate for most of the war. The Central Powers' new friend was a struggling empire in the Middle East.
Oh yeah,
The Ottomans were divided on whether to actually join the war or not,
really?
since they had been exhausted by the recent Balkan Wars. Some of the politicians who did want to join went off on their own and fired some shells at Russia,
What?
and then came back and said, "Whoops, looks like we're at war
Seriously?
now." The Ottoman entry into the war was of particular concern to the
That's a bit ridiculous.
British, since the Middle East was full of oil, and Britain wanted all of that oil. First, the Ottomans tried to attack Russia in the Caucasus Mountains,
Oh,
but they weren't prepared for the cold, and many of them froze to death. Then they crossed miles of desert to take the Suez Canal.
Oh yeah, fun fact, that that battle in the Caucasus where the Ottomans got annihilated was like the reason for the Armenian genocide. Like that's how it started, at least.
Now from the British, but that failed too. Then the Allies tried to take the Dardanelles at Gallipoli in a long and hard trench warfare campaign, but that also failed. The Ottomans blamed their initial losses on the ethnic Armenians living within Ottoman territory, and the resulting Armenian genocide led to the deaths of 1.5 million people. Then the Germans...
Jeez. And it wasn't just the Armenians, it was also like a fascinating amount of Greeks that were also killed.
Sent spies into Afghanistan to try to convince the Arab tribes there to rise up in jihad against the British.
Why Afghanistan? That seems weird.
And attack India. But that plan failed, partly because the spies got bored, brewed their own alcohol, and got drunk.
Oh my gosh, classic Germans.
Which is a bad thing to do in Afghanistan. All these new frontiers hadn't done much to change the war. Aware that the Allies had more men and supplies than them, the Germans knew they had to do something to break the stalemate. Before the war, there was a big conference that set out the rules of modern warfare. No chemical weapons, no killing civilians. Basically, don't be jerks. The Germans held a meeting and decided to be jerks.
I am not happy right now. Germany was... Okay, I mentioned chemical weapons. Let's talk about that. France started using chemical weapons first. They used tear gas. And Germany was like, you're going to use chemical weapons, or we're going to use better chemical weapons. So they used chlorine gas. Like, what the heck? Stop. And by the way, really? It wasn't just the Central Powers that killed civilians. Are you kidding me? It's very ridiculous. That's like, seriously. Stop. 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 Jeez.
Zeppelin air raids commenced over British cities. They also started attacking the Allied trenches with chlorine gas, and they used submarines to sink civilian ships.
Okay, first of all, the Zeppelin thing kind of sucks. Second of all, wait.
One such civilian ship was the Lusitania, which had 159 Americans on board when it was sunk.
Okay, let's talk about that. I didn't mention it, but there was weapons on the ship. There was weapons and ammunition on that Lusitania ship. And the civilians were just used so that Germany wouldn't be able to attack it, basically. Like, really? You're using civilians as human shields? Come on, guys! Why do you get mad whenever they sink it? Seriously, stop. Stop. It's annoying. You can't use civilians as literal human shields and then get mad at the other side for sinking your ships. Come on! Seriously.
further swaying U.S. opinion against the Germans. Not to be
But yeah, still, I mean, the sinking of Lusitania was still pretty bad. I'm not going to deny that.
completely unfair to the Germans, the Allies also engaged in chemical warfare soon after.
First, not soon after. First. 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 Also, by the way, I have a question, in the comment, for y'all to answer in the comments. Are they called the Entente or the Allies? I know they're called the Entente. That's their official name, but why do so many people call them the Allies? Like, is that also their official name? Because Entente is French for agreements, not allies. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know where that comes from,
And they had been hiding anti-submarine weapons on their civilian ships, which let the Germans justify
Oh, okay, yeah, they mentioned it. Okay.
their attacks. Meanwhile, Austria-Hungary still hadn't dealt with Serbia.
But seriously though, like, don't put civilians on ships with, like, literal weapons on it when you know that Germany is engaging in unrestricted submarine warfare. Like, that just seems kind of common sense, right?
Yeah. So the Central Powers enlisted some help. Bulgaria wished
Yay.
it was bigger and was still bitter about losing the Second Balkan War. Central Powers promised to make all of Bulgaria's wildest dreams come true if they helped, so they signed on, and together they knocked out Serbia.
Yeah, Bulgaria was kind of crazy. They had a humongous military. I think it was like 1 million men. They had a huge, like, military budget. They're so militaristic. It's crazy.
Serbian troops retreated through Albania, which was neutral but had some ties to Austria-Hungary. So Austria-Hungary entered Albania in a friendly invasion based on the Serbians.
Well, wouldn't the Serbian troops entering through their lands also be sort of a friendly invasion?
Escaped by sea. It's 1916, and a lot is happening. As if they didn't have enough enemies.
1916 was interesting.
Already.
Romania? Is that what they're going to talk about?
Germany added one more to the list.
Oh,
Portugal had been getting a bit chummy with the Allies behind the scenes, and Germany didn't like that one bit. Around the same time, the only sea battle of the war happened.
Jutland.
Both sides had a new powerful class of battleships called dreadnoughts, but they were so expensive to build that neither side wanted to risk losing them in a battle, so they kept them in port, except for one time when they had a big fight and a bunch of them got damaged, so they didn't try that again.
Hey, but who won?
The UK started conscripting men to the army, so they had plenty of reserves, which is just as well because the Western Front was about to get brutal. The longest and one of the
Verdun. Is that about to happen?
battles of the war started when the Germans launched an attack around the French city of Verdun.
Yeah.
The French defended it desperately, leading to hundreds of thousands of casualties. Under pressure, the French called on its allies to do something to draw the Germans' attention away, so the British started their own long and brutal fight.
Oh, yeah, but that didn't go well.
With 60,000 British casualties on just the first day.
And what happened there is that the British, they just launched, like, tons and tons and tons of artillery at the Germans, thinking that they would be silenced, that the Germans would be completely demoralized. But they completely underestimated they overestimated their artillery bombardment. So whenever they attacked, they had no idea that the Germans, like, were still almost at full strength, and they just got completely wiped out by the Germans.
It was also here that the British first used one crazy brand new piece of sci-fi technology.
Really?
The Russians had been getting pushed back further and further into their own territory, but in response to the French call for help, they began a huge offensive, and did really well until they ran out of supplies and got stuck. Seeing how well the Russians had been doing, Romania decided now would be a great time to jump in and win the war, and then they got pounded. The Greeks were fighting amongst themselves about whether to join the war or not. The king liked the Central Powers, while the Prime Minister wanted to join the Allies. After a brief national schism, during which the country split into two, the king finally abdicated and the country reunited. With Allied help, they began a new offensive. In the Middle East, Russia was pushing into Ottoman territory from the north. The British had also made a landing in Mesopotamia to protect Persia's oil fields, and they had also sent a small army up the Tigris River to try to take Baghdad, but the army got sieged in the town of Kut along the way and eventually surrendered.
Why do you think you would be able to march like that, a small, like, little force of troops, and take such a large city like that without retaliation? Like, why would you think that?
new offensive was launched from the south with
Oh,
all-out
wow.
desert warfare. The offensive was aided by one famous British officer, better known as Lawrence of
Oh.
Arabia, who helped lead the Arab tribes in a revolt that wreaked havoc on the Ottoman supply line. By the time 1917 rolled around, everyone was exhausted. There were mutinies in the French army, the German populace was starving, and the war had drained all of Russia's supplies. There was no clear winner, and it was still anyone's war. The only question now was, who was going to break first?
Russia.
And the answer was Russia. Tired of not eating...
Well, technically not Russia, more like Serbia or Montenegro, because, you know, they were the ones who were defeated first. Or Luxembourg. No, Luxembourg was. Luxembourg was the first country to capitulate.
And mad that a crazy magic homeless guy was calling some of the shots, there was an uprising in Petrograd complete with riots and strikes. The riots turned into a full-scale revolution, and a new government elected the Tsar. Then a few months later...
Well, this was all because of Germany. They sent Lenin and... Wait, did they already say that? I don't remember. I have a bad memory. I don't remember if they just said that or not.
The Bolsheviks overthrew the new government.
But yeah, Lenin was sent by Germany.
And they pulled Russia out of the war. This was great news for Germany, who now only...
Wait, they never took any of Finland?
Government. And they pulled Russia out of the war.
They never took Finland? What? How would they be able to reach Finland? And they also did take over these islands, I think. And I don't think they took that much land in the Caucasus.
This was great news for Germany, who now only had to focus on the Western Front. But there was still one problem. The pesky United States of America was looking increasingly like it was going to join the war. America had been selling supplies to the Allies throughout the war and was getting super rich off the back of it, meaning it was in fantastic shape and was dangerous to the Germans. So Germany sent a telegram to Mexico saying,
"Oh no, this is where things get bad." Zimmerman telegraph.
"Wouldn't it be crazy cool if you guys attacked America?" But the British intercepted the message, showed it to the Americans, and that was the final straw.
I'm just so confused. Why would you do that? It just seems like such a stupid thing to do. Germany could have still won if they didn't do that. Why would you do that? I'm just... seriously. Gets me so mad. Like, why would Germany try to do that? Come on. Seriously.
American troops began shipping out to Europe.
Oh boy.
This was terrible news for Germany, and they knew their only hope now was to force France and the UK to surrender.
Oh yeah. They're gonna do like these massive offensives, and they're not gonna work very well.
Before the fresh American troops arrived, it was now or never, so they started one final attack. They converged their troops and hit hard at the Somme and pushed the Allies back. They hit a second time further north, then again and again. With each hit, the Germans were spending more and
They actually took a good amount of land.
more resources, while the Allies were getting better and better at repelling their attacks. By the fifth punch, the Allies held the line and even pushed back.
What?
With American
Dang.
troops now arriving in larger numbers, the Allies launched a counterattack, and that was it. The Central Powers were being pushed back on all fronts. Bulgaria collapsed first, followed by the Ottoman Empire, then Austria-Hungary, and finally on November 11, 1918, at 11 o'clock, Germany surrendered. At the peace treaty, Germany was forced to reduce its military, accept war guilt, and pay the bill for the war. After indescribable suffering and
yeah, so it's ridiculous how they had to... How the Treaty of Versailles said that Germany would have to accept guilt even though it wasn't their fault.
Instead, the world learned its lesson and never had such an awful war again.
Geez, that's a lot of dead people and a lot of wounded people. Wow.
For about 20 years.
Yeah. Wow, okay, there you go, guys. That is Older One Oversimplified. Part 2. Let me know what you want me to react to next. I sure enjoyed it. Let me know if y'all enjoyed it in the comments. And make sure to check out their channel and subscribe to this one. And goodbye.